It was 2:17 in the morning. I remember because the blue glow of the alarm clock was the only light left in my apartment. The city outside had finally gone quiet, but my mind hadn't. I kept asking myself the same question. Why does this keep happening to me? Different jobs, different relationships, different chapters of my life, yet somehow. The ending always felt the same. I wasn't looking for another heartbreak. I wasn't trying to fail. I wasn't choosing anxiety. So why did it always feel like life was leading me back to the same place? Then one night, a thought crossed my mind that changed everything. What if I wasn't trapped by my circumstances? What if I was trapped by the way I'd learned to see them? For years, I believed my biggest problem was bad luck. Maybe I kept meeting the wrong people. Maybe I wasn't working hard enough. Maybe life simply wasn't fair. But I was asking the wrong question. The real question wasn't, why does this keep happening? It was, why do I keep responding the same way? A therapist once told me something I'll never forget. Elias, your brain isn't trying to make you happy. It's trying to keep you alive. At first, that sounded strange. But the more I learned, the more everything began to make sense. Your brain is constantly scanning the world for one thing, potential danger, not because it wants to make you anxious, because that's how human beings survived for thousands of years. Scientists call this negativity bias. Simply put, your brain notices what could hurt you much faster than what could help you. Imagine your manager sends you a message on Friday afternoon. Can we talk Monday morning? Nothing else. No explanation, no context. For the rest of the weekend. Your mind fills in the blanks. Am I getting fired? Did I do something wrong? By Monday morning, you've lived through a disaster that never actually happened, or maybe you've been dating someone for a few weeks. One evening, they don't text back. An hour passes, then 3, then 6. Suddenly, your mind isn't thinking, maybe they're busy. It's saying, here we go again. They're losing interest. I'm about to be abandoned. The phone never changed. The silence never changed. Only the story inside your mind changed. That's how fear works. It doesn't knock on the front door. It quietly rewrites the story you're telling yourself. And once your brain believes that story, it starts collecting evidence to prove it's true. Psychologists call this confirmation bias. If deep down you believe, people always leave. You'll notice every goodbye, every delayed reply, every uncomfortable conversation. But your brain will quietly ignore all the moments someone chose to stay. If you believe, I'm not good enough. You'll remember every mistake you made, but you'll forget the compliments. You'll dismiss your achievements. You'll convince yourself that your success was just luck. Without realizing it, you begin making decisions based on fear instead of reality. You don't apply for the promotion. You don't start the business. You don't tell someone how you really feel, not because you can't, but because your brain is trying to protect you from pain it experienced years ago. I didn't understand this for most of my life. I thought I was reacting to the present. In reality, I was reacting to memories that had quietly become my future. But then I discovered something that completely changed the way I understood my life. Psychology explained how my mind created these patterns, but it couldn't fully explain why the same emotional cycles kept repeating, even after I became aware of them. That answer didn't come from neuroscience. It came from a much older kind of wisdom, one that has been quietly passed down for thousands of years. Because maybe your thoughts are more than thoughts. Maybe every thought you repeat is a seed. And whether you realize it or not, you're planting a garden with every single one. For a long time, I thought awareness would be enough. I understood my patterns. I knew where my fears came from. I could even explain them. But nothing really changed. I was still making the same decisions, still attracting the same experiences, still living inside the same emotional loop. One afternoon, I was sitting alone in a small coffee shop. Rain was tapping against the window. A notebook lay open in front of me. One sentence was written across the page. "Your life grows in the direction of your attention." I must have read those words 20 times. At first, they sounded almost too simple, but the more I thought about them, the more I realized something. Every morning, I wasn't preparing myself for possibility. I was preparing myself for disappointment. I expected people to leave, so I looked for signs they would. I expected failure, so I noticed every mistake I made. I expected rejection, so I walked into conversations already trying to protect myself. No wonder my world felt heavy. I had been watering fear every single day, without realizing it. That's when I began exploring something that exists in both psychology and many spiritual traditions. A simple principle. Your attention shapes your experience. Psychology explains that your brain strengthens whatever it repeatedly focuses on. Many spiritual traditions suggest that what you consistently cultivate within yourself gradually becomes the life you create. Different language, different perspectives, yet they point toward the same truth. Your inner world matters, more than most of us realize. Imagine standing in a garden. You plant 2 seeds. One is fear, the other is courage. Every morning, you choose which one receives water, which one receives sunlight, which one receives your time. Weeks later, which one do you expect to grow? Life works much the same way, not because the universe is rewarding or punishing you, but because what you repeatedly nurture slowly becomes part of who you are. Your beliefs influence your choices become habits, your habits shape your character, and your character quietly shapes your future. Real change rarely begins with your circumstances. It begins with your attention. I want to leave you with 2 practices that helped me break this cycle, not overnight, but one decision at a time. Tool 1. The love versus fear slur. Whenever you're about to make an important decision, pause. Ask yourself one simple question. Is this choice coming from fear or from love? Fear sounds like this: don't apply for the job, you'll embarrass yourself. Love says, even if you don't get it, you'll become someone stronger for trying. Fear says, don't tell them how you feel, you'll only get hurt. Love whispers, honesty is never a mistake. You don't have to eliminate fear. You simply have to stop letting it make your decisions. Now, here's the second practice. Tool 2, the Future Seed Journaling Method. Every night, before you go to sleep, write down 3 things. 1 belief you're choosing to strengthen, 1 action you'll take tomorrow, and 1 future you're intentionally creating. Keep it simple, just 3 lines. The goal isn't to write the perfect journal. The goal is to teach your mind where to place its attention, because wherever your attention goes, your life slowly follows. Looking back, I don't think my life changed because the world suddenly became kinder. It changed because I stopped waking up every morning expecting yesterday to repeat itself. Healing didn't happen in one extraordinary moment. It happened through thousands of ordinary choices. 1 thought, 1 decision, 1 small act of courage at a time. Maybe that's where your healing begins too. Not someday. Not when everything finally feels perfect. Today. With the very next thought you choose to believe. So before we finish, I want to ask you something. What kind of seeds have you been planting in the garden of your mind lately? I'd really love to hear your answer. Leave it in the comments below. You never know. Your story might become the reason someone else decides not to give up. And if you're ready to stop repeating the same cycle, if you're ready to grow through this journey with me, hit that subscribe button. Let's take this healing journey, one chapter at a time. Until next time, take gentle care of your heart. I'll see you in the next chapter of our healing journey.